Hello, I'm Dave Peach, and this is the Crawfordsville Peachcast, sponsored by Tri-County Bank, your community bank since 1892. See them in person or at tricountybank.net. Tri-County Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender. Crawfordsville Peachcast. I'm Dave Peach, and I'm joined by not only Dave Meyer. Hello, Dave.
Hello, Dave.
But we're also joined by our editor extraordinaire, Kurtis Broadstreet. Kurtis, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing really well, Dave. How are you?
We're doing fine, and you get the honor every week of editing the Crawfordsville Peachcast, and I'm sure that's at the top of your resume right now.
The very top of the resume. It's at the top of my my portfolio, and it's not only an honor, but it's also a privilege. You know.
Oh, Dave.
I'm doing it.
Well, that's why we charge you. He actually pays us to do it.
That's going.
That's right.
And worth every penny,
Dave.
Worth every penny.
He's cleaning up our messes.
He goes to Purdue University.
A fine school. I hear they have a basketball team.
And
they do have a basketball team. That they have a football team, or at least had a football team. But yeah, they have pretty much every team imaginable.
And Kurtis is a broadcast student there, and he's learning a lot. What have you learned from editing particularly the Untoasted segments of the Crawfordsville Peachcast?
Well, I have learned a lot of movies I've never heard of. And I've certainly I've learned a lot about, like Long John Silver's, how good that place is. And, how much of a wonderful time it is to have your whole family over there enjoying dinner, enjoying the hush puppies, and just learning a lot of facts of life from the dynamic duo of Dave and Dave.
Dave, do you hope that his counselors at Purdue University are listening in right now so they can feel good about this part of his broadcasting tutelage, so to speak?
I'll take anybody listening to this show at this point. I mean, I'll take anybody. I
have listeners. You have listeners, Dave. We've seen the numbers, and there's some like not just here. You got Pennsylvania. You have 2 in Hong Kong.
2 in Hong Kong, Dave. We're gonna have to learn at least a few words. But Kurtis, I've got to say or ask: have you been motivated to seek any of the films featured?
Yeah. Definitely The Swarm. The Swarm, especially considering that it is the most badly bumblebee or whatever. I forgot what that word was, but yes, I remember Dave showing me a clip of that picnic scene, and it sticks to your mind like honey.
It definitely does. Now, we do have some callbacks on the Crawfordsville Peachcast. First, we got to thank our sponsors, Tri-County Bank, your community bank since 1892. And Central Indiana Rubber Products, or CIR, providing the power for you. Dave, say it.
Hello, Todd.
Hello, Todd. Happy New Year.
Can I say it?
Yeah.
Hello, Todd.
I think it was equally good.
I liked it, Dave.
Thank you.
He has the power of putting a sound effect even on that, or, EQing our voices differently. I don't know, but the power of Kurtis.
I have the power to do anything.
Well, segment 2, we will have the Untoasted movie, The Candidate, with Robert Redford, Peter Boyle, and Don Porter. It is from 1972. It's number 21 on the movie list as far as order goes. And Dave, I do have a special announcement in segment 3, so be listening, everybody, for segment 3. That's not a reference to The Swarm, to be listening, but we will have a very special announcement. Ooh. Actually, 2 special announcements in segment 3. It's going to be very exciting. We have some callbacks. First, I was looking at for some reason I was going on YouTube and I saw the Beyond Poseidon Adventure comment section on YouTube, and I scrolled through. There were like 10 positive comments, such as people were surprised how good it was. With this cast, how can you miss? One person even said, check out Michael Caine also in The Swarm.
Dave, they should be listeners, right? They're in our wheelhouse demographic, those folk.
I would think.
I'm surprised, though, because you are fairly publicly identified with those comments.
Yeah, and it's not. I guess they want to be nice. Is that the deal? They want to be nice.
It could be family members of crew, or it was a big cast.
Had a lot of great people, and then this was something I think you picked up on. We talked about the Thunderbirds in the double episode with Cinderella and the Thunderbirds. A production company has picked up the rights. They are going to show the Thunderbirds on some sort of streaming platform, and they say it's I guess an underappreciated treasure. And mentioned the comedy, mentioned Lady Penelope. In short, they said you need to toast this.
Well, Dave, ahead of your time, yet in kind of in the pocket of the zeitgeist, you're bringing that to the Peachcast family. So I'm a convert, and I'm curious to see where it goes. So the Thunderbirds, not something that I was even really thinking about this time last year.
No, but it's there. Kurtis is impressed with the Super Marionation. Is that how that goes?
I believe it's very high octane, considering like how difficult that must be to, like, especially back then, having to do basically the A-Team with puppets.
Yeah,
but it's very amazing what those people were able to do, and it's like I've never heard of them before. Like I thought the Thunderbirds was some like Hanna-Barbera cartoon. but yeah, it's very amazing what people were able to do back then with practical effects.
You might have also been thinking about the fabulous Thunderbirds. And Dave, are we tough enough?
No, Dave, we're not tough enough. But I do remember the bright yellow suit that the guy that sang with the fabulous Thunderbirds would wear.
See, now
it didn't make him look tough.
Now you're making me think about, maybe Kurtis can look this up. Their follow-up hit, the Thunderbirds follow-up hit, is coming up as Kurtis looks it up. But we also have to go to Dave's. That's my YouTube feed. People want to know.
We need a sound effect for that, Dave.
Dave's YouTube feed. Here it is. 6 hours of 80s commercials. 6 hours.
6 hours, folks. That's good.
And I, of course, my mind kind of goes, and let's say that I had grandkids, okay? And I'm sitting there watching 6 hours of 80s commercials, and two or three of them come in and say, Grandpa, do you want to go out and play? And I would say, in about 3.5 hours, when I'm done with the 6 hours of 80s commercials, then I will be able to go out and play with you kids.
Dave, they don't know the value of being able to sing word for word the Charlie commercials.
6 hours.
Yeah. Did you see John Houseman? Was John Houseman around in the 80s, or was that just the 70s?
I mean, I just don't understand. Somebody had to put the 6 hours on there.
Yeah, Dave.
It took longer than 6 hours to put that together.
There's a lot of things you can find.
Are you supposed to put that on at work? I mean, now you're in this business, advertising, marketing. Are you supposed to put the 6 hours of 80s commercials on at the beginning of your day of working, and then, you leave after 6 hours?
This feels like a narrow casting electronic billboard that somebody that put together an 80s museum in their garage in Sioux City, Iowa, but they had a leftover 60-inch monitor. So they had their cousin Anyway, I don't know, Dave, but it's plausible that you put it as the background while if you're charging for people to come into your garage, it's part of the experience.
Other items on Dave's YouTube feed, my YouTube feed, WB Superstars mix with Rosa, the contestant, singing Bootylicious.
I got a no comment there, Dave. We're going to go right to Kurtis.
That is a show that was in like 2003. If you didn't see it, I hope that you never do.
David, it's at some point, does it need to be discussed? Yeah.
Kurtis, you're up next. Go ahead.
Sorry, I said I'm sorry to even have heard of it, especially in Dave's YouTube feed. That kind of changes things.
Third one on the list. Now, this is something Dave Meyer is all about: the history of the Sun Belt Conference.
Absolutely. I mean, people don't realize the history of these conferences, where they started, what happened. Yes, the Sun Belt, Dave.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing. I'm just thinking, again, what do you do with this knowledge?
Yeah.
You bring it up at the New Year's Eve party?
A very, very specialized poker games, possibly.
The next one, Ultimate C-SPAN Prank Call Compilation. This is something you should not watch, folks. Don't watch that. Please don't. That's not worth it. No, it's bad.
Dave, give me a little demo.
It's bad.
What do they sound like?
I can't really even say it. It's like, but they'll be talking about the economy, or they'll be talking about some important, they sell it, and then all of a sudden they'll just utter some obscenity, and it's not something you really want to watch. So I feel bad bringing it up.
It's a cable Tourette's kind of thing.
Yeah. The final one, the movie, it's a 1956 movie, Earth versus the Flying Saucers, with Hugh Marlowe and Joan Taylor.
I'm feeling like you stumbled on that, not because you knew the actors.
No, but that's just part of Dave's YouTube feed. I'm not proud of it. I gotta say, I'm not proud of it.
It is a reflection, right? It's a reflection. You go, okay, I guess I've been there. I just didn't know how long I stayed.
Definitely work to be done.
Shares your personality.
Definitely work to be done. Kurtis, did you find the follow-up song to the Fabulous Thunderbirds, Are You Tough Enough?
No, I did not, Dave, but I found something significantly better. I found the Thunderbirds Blu-ray DVD from 2004, a live-action movie retelling the same plot, and it has 19% on Rotten Tomatoes, but it features Bill Paxton from Twister.
19% is not good.
No, 19% is it's not it's bad. But so yeah, there's that. The Thunderbirds follow-up. What'd you say it was called again?
The Fabulous Thunderbirds.
Their first hit was Tough Enough.
Tough Enough.
And we're looking for that follow-up.
They were kind of in that Night Ranger pocket, weren't they? That Fabulous
late
Thunderbirds.
80s.
Yeah. Kind of southerny flair.
Yeah, Texas blues, Texas rock. I think Jimmy Vaughn was the guitarist whose brother was Stevie Ray.
There's a lot of Vaughn. Yeah, there's a lot of connections there. Can Kurtis find it? This could keep Kurtis on the show. This could keep him going here.
This is good.
Well, wait.
He's going to stall.
He's going to make me
information broker.
They're going to make me look up the history of the Sun Belt Conference. The Sun Belt Conference, Dave. The history of the Sun Belt Conference.
I want to talk. I know that they were good in baseball.
And we had to wait a half hour for Kurtis to finally find the other song from the Fabulous Thunderbirds. Was it a half hour? Maybe less than a half hour. Kurtis, what was that memorable song from the Fabulous Thunderbirds in addition to Tough Enough?
In addition to Tough Enough, the 1986 studio album, there was Wrap It Up.
Wrap it up.
There it is.
I'll take it.
There we go.
It is the Crawfordsville Peach Cast. We are unearthing so many important information nuggets for you. Coming up next, we'll talk about The Candidate, the 1972 Robert Redford movie. It is next on the Crawfordsville Peach Cast.
Dreaming about your next vacation? Maybe about a major family event, or maybe something very unexciting, such as home repairs. This is Chuck Dixon, President and CEO of Tri-County Bank. Stop dreaming and come to Tri-County Bank to apply for our Dream Green home equity line of credit. In days, your dreams can become your reality. Tri-County Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Crawfordsville Peach Cast, and now today's feature presentation. The drum beat greets us. It kind of looks like Dragnet. It's brilliant old school color. It is Robert Redford in The Candidate, 1972. David,
1972.
What are your first thoughts of this movie?
Dave, this movie has first of all, yes, you mentioned the color, and there's like the campaign posters, and I looked at the trailer. It's like that red behind him, and it's like this is Robert Redford at his most Robert Redford, right? Early 70s, blonde tousle hair, had power, so he was going to make the movies the way he wanted to make them, and this is one of them. So this is like a cautionary tale that still has, I think, because they made it in almost a documentary style a little bit, it has a quality that hangs. And at the same time, it's really cool. I love seeing like the big cars at the early part of this movie driving around Southern California. And they weren't like Southern California cars. They were just the cars that our parents drove when we were growing up. So I think this is a smart movie, an interesting movie, and a movie that makes you think, and probably was a foreshadowing of kind of the celebrity politician look, perspective.
I would agree. I'm very jealous of Robert Redford's 28-inch waist. Was he 30 or 28? 30 or 28?
It was
I doubt if it was 26.
No, it had to be more. Maybe 29.
I mean, if you're under 30, I don't know.
We shouldn't count.
Oh my goodness. I mean, anyway. But not that I noticed or anything like that. Robert Redford today is 87 years of age.
That's a lot of years. He doesn't look the same, but it's been a while since I've seen him.
David, give us the plot of the movie.
Okay. I would say I'll try to give a quick overview. It begins in 70s politics, and you're seeing things, so that's kind of our backdrop. Before we meet our candidate, Robert Redford, we are kind of entered in the world of Marvin Lucas, who is, you would know him through the past 20 years of pop culture television on Everybody Loves Raymond as the lovable father of Ray. So Peter Boyle is the political operative. And this also, and somewhat foreshadowed, this is before these people were kind of rock stars. It's before we knew about George Stephanopoulos or Karl Rove or folks like that. And this kind of shows some of the behind the scenes folks, beginning with Peter Boyle, as kind of being the folks that are pulling the levers for a candidate and to try to, market and sell a candidate in the same way that advertising tries to sell anything to the American public. So long story short, Robert Redford is the son of a former California governor named McKay. He's a lawyer who is seemingly idealistic and works in kind of a non-for-profit world. So he looks on paper, he has name recognition, and he's good looking, and he's a lawyer. So basically, our Marvin Peter Boyle character picks him out to be the guy to take on the longtime established candidate that is, it sounds like, been in office, a 20-year senator in California, kind of probably somebody who at this point had been there from throughout the 50s and 60s. So someone who's maybe elected after World War II and had been there a really long time, very established, older, kind of dyed in the wool Republican conservative politician. So that's Crocker Jarman.
Crocker Jarman.
That is the name, Dave. So we're setting up Bill McKay to take on Crocker Jarman. And the premise that Peter Boyle sells to Robert Redford, because Redford says, why would I do this? There's no way. No one's going to beat this guy. So why would I do it? And basically the pitch is because you can say anything you want and run the kind of campaign that you want, and you can be idealistic, and you can be all the things that you are today, and maybe you'll make a difference, and in the end, you'll lose. So that's the pitch. So Robert Redford takes it on with that in mind. However, throughout the movie, what we see is things change, or his idealism is challenged and molded for different reasons. The fact that his dad was the former governor, they bring that into play, how that comes into play. Dave, I feel like I'm going on and on at this point.
Well, I mean, you're doing fine. You're doing fine, but you're leaving a lot of stuff out.
I know. That's why.
You're leaving Dave, a lot of stuff out.
We got to do a better overview than that.
No, you did fine, but you left out some very important things.
Okay.
The KFC product placement that was prevalent in this movie. You completely glossed over that.
It was strong throughout.
Including the eating of the chicken. I mean, not only was the KFC box there, but Redford was actually polishing off a piece of the 11 herbs and spices on the chicken. I mean, he was actually digging at the chicken. I mean, he was like eating. I mean, not only was he like, just nibbling on a drumstick. I mean, he was like picking the skin off the back or something. I mean, he was going at it.
This is full on Bob Redford eating chicken on camera. Yeah, this, again, the documentary style, they must have had a deal with KFC, and this must have been a late night shoot.
We also had Hertz. We also had Hertz featured prominently.
Good. That's very good. Well, I will say a couple of tidbits. What my favorite of the shaking hands scenes is when he walks up and this guy hands him both a drink and a sandwich, I believe. And so our candidate, Bill McKay, takes those on, being nice at both hands. And with both hands occupied, the gentleman proceeds to hit him in the face, Dave. He punched him. Okay?
I didn't like that.
Wow, that's a little rough. But here's the backstory. The gentleman who wrote the screenplay once worked for candidate Eugene McCarthy, and that exact thing happened to McCarthy.
Wow.
So, yeah, it looked uncomfortable.
Let's see. Robert Redford, his sideburns, they had to trim those a little bit.
Right. That was noted early on. I guess, this was in the era where if you were anywhere near the Neil Young sideburn, the Neil Young, Stephen Stills level of sideburn, that it was bad. So you had to go way up on those.
And the one guy that worked on the campaign, he did this twice. He got a bag of suckers and he hit them with a hammer to break the pieces off.
Yeah. I didn't understand that.
I've never seen that before in my life, but they did it twice.
Yeah.
Here's another bag for you. Are we supposed to be doing that now?
I do not know.
I mean, I
do not know.
And then
I do.
Okay, here we go. Yeah. That's kind of how it was.
Well, okay. And the relationship with the wife, Dave, I didn't fully get it.
Yeah.
Wasn't good, wasn't bad. It was just kind of distant.
And they didn't really confirm that there might have been some other activity.
Right.
But they threw it out there a couple of times.
there were looks, I would say.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And I didn't quite, to me, I didn't quite, if they're going to, but yeah, I didn't get that. I didn't get that at all. To me, it's either you got to do it one way or the other. You know what I mean? You either got to put him in that position or not. But anyway, but we were treated to an uncredited appearance of Pat Harrington, who was Schneider, right? On One Day at a Time.
Wow. Okay, I missed that. Where was Harrington?
He was at the podium. I think he introduced.
Oh,
Bill,
you're right.
He introduced
the
Bill.
very first time.
Yeah.
The very first time, and he kind of basically said, "Be quick and wrap it up."
And that's where they snuck in those appearances of Hubert Humphrey and George McGovern.
Very nice. And I also
true to life senators, Kurtis. These were guys that were U.S. senators.
And apparently Alan Cranston was in there at some point, and I missed that as well.
Well, I was going to say real quick. Michael Lerner is one of those actors, and he just died in 2023. Died as we're taping it this year. As you're listening to it, it would be last year. But Michael Lerner was one of those guys that was in like a billion movies, and you know him if you see him, but you'll never know his name.
No, exactly. I think of him. He was in 8 Men Out. He played one of the important gamblers who was kind of pulling the strings. I remember that guy. He would show up in so many movies and television, 70s, 80s, 90s television programs. And I actually heard him talk. I guess he was an incredible character as well. I've heard him talked about on a podcast. A guy that loved to take home his wardrobe.
Hey, sounds good. We did get to meet the real Natalie Wood.
Yes, who at this point had done a couple of movies with Redford, right? She'd already done Barefoot in the Park and probably one other.
And I assume we have shelved the kind of the, what do they call them? Not the straw hats, but the styrofoam straw hats with the singing ladies. I think that's pretty much gone by the wayside here in 2023.
I don't think we have seen that since maybe the 80s.
There was some difficulty with the Pepsi machines, more product placement.
Quite. I didn't know if there was anything to that.
And we did have a California wildfire, but he was cautioned to not make this into a political or not to make this into a political issue, or not to bring this into the campaign, or how exactly was he schooled as they were on their way to the California wildfire?
Yeah, there was something, to the effect of you can't make the fire political, right? This thing, just say, and that's when he gets there and he has good ideas about watershed that basically is something that had not been done. And then, of course, while he's there, his nemesis, the incoming, not just the candidate, but the incumbent, Crocker Jarman, lands by helicopter, announces that he is sponsoring a bill to do basically what Bill McKay just suggested, and basically steals all his thunder and then flies away.
The candidate made in 1972, over 50 years ago. David, are there more things that are similar today or more things that are different today than in 1972?
I think we're at the same place. There have more things have happened that have opened certain things up since then. I mean, I think Redford was looking at this from a standpoint of winning at what cost, and looking at himself as, at that point, he was a celebrity product, and at what cost, if what he was about was just awards or whatever. I don't know what exactly his motivation was, but I think what he was trying to foreshadow with this was basically style over substance, a name over actual experience or realistic plans, so to speak. And this was, at the time that this came out, this was Ronald Reagan was, I believe, governor of California or about to be. And then Reagan would become president of the United States. And, I would say, fast forward beyond Reagan, uh, Barack Obama to Donald Trump. So there definitely have been some celebrity like presidents since then. So I think that the formulating what the behind the scenes sausage making aspects of it, I think this showed what was going on. That became much more as more and more and more and more money gets involved in politics. More and more people seek ways to use that as their business. So I think that is definitely foreshadowed. So those are a couple of things.
A couple of things that kind of came out, or at least that I noticed, was the comparison, Crocker Jarman comparing 1972 America to the Roman Empire and,
Yeah.
the potential collapse. And we hear that today, that we're like the Roman Empire, ready to go, but we made it 51 years, 52 years from 1972 at least.
Oh, yeah. No, I think we should have another 50, hopefully. And it's, I got to say, one of the things I did was I looked up, has anybody ever been named Crocker as a first name? Okay. And no, I mean, no, Crocker is a surname, Crocker is a last name, but no other recordings in fiction or in real life of Crocker as a first name.
And we also hear in this movie, and we've heard this recently, the greatest country in the world cannot do this, cannot do that, cannot, serve these, serve these people. We hear that today. So in that respect, I guess as much has been done, but much more needs to be done. Time for things that I have to get off my chest before we move on to the ending of the movie. They're drinking Ham's beer. Do they still make Ham's beer?
I have not looked that one up. I remember this is though, just as part of the theme of the movie, Ham's the beer refreshing. Okay. What else? What's your tagline you remember about Ham's beer, Dave?
I can sing the whole theme if you want me to,
Okay.
but I won't. But it was,
Okay.
yeah. And then all of a sudden they start calling Robert Redford Bud.
I noticed that his father called
his
him
father
that.
started calling him Bud.
And it was there was that one scene at the end when he says, "Well, Bud, you're a politician."
Oh,
that's when you could see the difference, because Redford's father is proud because his son is kind of compromised his ideals into the way of a more winning candidate, and Redford looks at him like, "Oh my gosh, what you just said to me."
That one hurt. And it was also the world of magazines.
Oh, yeah.
The evening news with Howard K. Smith and Walter Cronkite. Newspapers, including afternoon newspapers.
Yes.
And wire service reporters.
Yes. A lot of talk about you gotta vote now or it won't be on the afternoon news, right? Redford was sleeping in on election day and was told, "Get up, you gotta go vote. We gotta that's your free TV coverage for the day."
You're going to get in those afternoon newspapers. You got to do that. Now, in the 70s, there were movies that kind of ended. I don't know how to say it. You're the wordsmith. You could I guess unexpectedly, or the ending was unexpected. I think of the movie Nashville. That was a very almost a shocking ending, and I can think of others as well. The movies just kind of ended, and this movie just kind of ended. Now, I don't want to give it away to someone who wants to watch this movie. I don't want to spoil the big spoil, but what are your thoughts on movies of that era that kind of left you hanging versus today's, where they have to button everything up and get you set for what they hope to be a sequel?
Yeah, no, I like it. I think certain types of movies lend itself better than others. I think this lend itself well to that. I like it just because it it basically it doesn't wrap things up, and that's the third act. Sets up a discussion you can have with anybody who watched the movie with. And I will say, without, as you say, not giving anything away, Redford's vision at the beginning of this was the ending. They had the ending, and then they worked around it. They knew how they wanted to get there.
And Dave, circling back to Peter Boyle, who is on Everybody Loves Raymond. A lot of people know him for that role, but he was in a little movie called Young Frankenstein. He was in Beyond the Poseidon Adventure. He's in The Candidate with Robert Redford. It's good to see some of these actors that you kind of you're kind of burn in your mind that he's Frank from Raymond, but before that, he had quite a career.
Quite a career, and he was it was quite a commanding character actor. I mean, he was the protagonist that drives the beginning of this movie, and never really loses his mojo, and including that one scene where he picks up they're trying to get up to the TV studio and they're late, and he picks up a chair and says, get back to the security there in this building. So yeah, no, Peter Boyle was an interesting character, and in real life was a buddy of Beatle John Lennon. So not as you say, not exactly the guy or even the artist that you saw as Raymond's dad for 20 years. 30 years before that, he was doing all kinds of characters.
And we could fast forward to, I think Jerry Brown was the governor of California, and wasn't his dad a politician as well?
Absolutely. His dad had been, yes, the former governor.
So you could make a comparison there to Jerry Brown. And then there's another guy that was, we talked about when we were in college, a gentleman by the name of Gary Hart.
Yes, you could definitely see in, I don't know, kind of the mannerisms that, and I don't know, as I go back now, did Hart get those from Redford?
Yeah, he must have. Yeah.
It's possible. There's also there was a senator at the time named John Tunney who was defeated in, I believe, 76, but was at that point like a big early environmentalist, and somebody who had been he had been a college roommate of Ted Kennedy. So he was anointed or a recognized name because his dad was also Gene Tunney, the boxer from the first part of the 20th century.
And it may be painful for you, Dave, but I also thought about Dan Quayle, who was very big at Butler University. I think he had a good following there among the young Republicans of the day. And on kind of the other side, he was a Republican who ousted the longtime Senator Birchby in 1980.
Absolutely. No, it's quite the figure. And even I had forgotten about Hubert Humphrey until I saw him in this movie. I had not thought of him for a long time. So again, in that era, Humphrey was one of the larger presences, among the senators and things like that, but not somebody who in today's world is ever brought back to.
Humphrey's dome has come and gone.
Yes.
And with that, we will sign off for The Candidate 1972. Segment 3 is on the way on the Crawfordsville Peachcast.
Central Indiana Rubber Products, locally owned for over 40 years. Central Indiana Rubber Products is customer-focused and offers commercial custom hose, gaskets, belts, seals, and O-rings, among a variety of other products and services. Central Indiana Rubber Products is a dedicated supplier of banjo valve products, spill absorbents, hoses, gaskets, and belts. Central Indiana Rubber Products, 989 West 83 North in Crawfordsville, and at indianarubber.com.
It's time for segment 3 of the Crawfordsville Peachcast. Kurtis, you were there. You listened patiently to the discussion on the Candidate movie. Was there anything that you wanted to say that we didn't get to?
No, I mean, especially since I haven't lived through that time period, and B, I've never seen the movie. But yeah, it's just based off of what you guys were talking about. It's kind of cool to like watch that movie and then have it be so relatable 50 years later,
Well,
and it's like kind of telling of how like time flows in a way, especially in today's America, and all the product placement. I do love like just the very slow camera zoom in as Robert Redford enjoys his chicken wings, and but yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say.
Okay, well, he was tearing into the chicken. It's something that I can't get out of my mind. I'm just, I mean, it was. I admired him for digging deeper, in that particular meal. But again, we love talking about movies here on the Crawfordsville Pete's Cast, and coming up a couple of special editions of the Pete's Cast. We will be in January taping a Peach Cast with members of the Cincinnati Reds. David, this is going to be exciting.
Very exciting, Dave. Incredibly exciting. January, going to be warming it up for spring.
We will also have Jeff Nelson and a playoff preview from the man who's been traveling around with the number 1 team of Fox Sports. We'll have that in January as well. And then coming up in April, we will have I think I don't know if we'll wear tuxes or not, but we're going to be handing out the first ever Toasty Awards.
Oh my, how exciting can that be? Again, sound effects may be necessary.
Oh, absolutely, Curtis. So I put sound effects in there.
We'll be handing out the Toasties, and you, our faithful followers, our faithful, what do they call it? Like, share, subscribe. We got to come up with a name. We got to come up with a name. The
hits.
We'll have to the Crawfordsville Peach something. We'll come up with we'll come up with a nice little fan name. Yeah, the Peachies or whatever. But that'll be coming up in April. The Toasties. Next up, we're going to talk about another movie that begins with the Program with James Caan, and I'm sure, David, you watched James Caan, late great. I think we lost him in 2023. You saw him in The Elf.
Saw him in Elf, so he will be around at least in 2 movies forever, if not many. But yeah, James Caan, Sonny on the Causeway, the coach in The Program, Brian Piccolo and Brian Song. Yes.
You left out Jonathan and Rollerball.
Jonathan and Rollerball and many uncredited nights in the Playboy Mansion.
James Caan, is it just me, or is it just that he's kind of built like Al Michaels, or are they similar in any way, shape, or form?
I think they stood, they're kind of chest out, curly haired fellas.
Yeah.
With a little bit of an edge.
Yeah, I don't think they lack confidence. I don't think either one of those gentlemen lack confidence.
Exactly right. No, they got a few meals picked up for them.
So there you go. We've got the Cincinnati Reds edition. We got the playoff preview that'll probably be before the Reds, and then in April the Toasty Awards, or just I guess we'll just affectionately call them the Toasties.
The Toasties. With their first annual being in April.
Looking forward to that. Curtis, anything that you would like to add for the first Crawfordsville Peach Cast in 2024?
No, I'm just very excited about the Toasties, and I mean, you didn't tell me about that. That's pretty cool. I'm very excited for what's to come in the year for the Crawfordsville Peach Cast on 2024.
Dave, I'm going to send you a matchbook with the words "You lose" on it. Be looking for that in the mail.
Please do. That's a classic.
It is the Crawfordsville Peach Cast. We are presented by Tri-County Bank, your community bank, since 1892. And we're also sponsored by Central Indiana Rubber Products, CIR, providing the power for you. Everybody on 3. 1, 2, 3. Hello.
Hello.
Todd.
Thanks for listening to the Crawfordsville Peachcast, sponsored by Tri-County Bank, your community bank since 1892. Tri-County Bank, member FDIC, and equal housing lender. I'm Dave Peach. Join us every Thursday for a new episode on Apple or Spotify. Please like, subscribe, and download the Crawfordsville Peachcast. This podcast was produced and edited by Up There Media and is a presentation of Fork Broadcasting Digital.